professionally now for about 11 years. And I am originally from Victoria and got my undergrad degree at the University of Victoria, and then went on to the National Theatre School of Canada.
And you have designed for theatres across the country. Can you name a couple?
I have designed for Obsidian Theatre for the Stratford Festival. I've designed for Phoenix Theatres in Victoria, Theatre Passe Muraille, mainly GCTC in Ottawa. Most of my work has been done in the Toronto area, though.
Can you describe the design a little bit?
The design is a series of doors, and it quite literally started from putting one door on the set model and changing while it was in that position, sort of looking at another door in another position, and just sort of expanding upon that, sort of liking the look of it. In the script, the only architectural reference is to a door. This play cannot be done without the door, because it's about a door being locked, about people coming and going into this apartment, and specifically with the idea of being locked inside. At one point in the play, there had to be a door. And so it became just something to riff off of, and quite literally sort of multiplied off of that central idea. In keeping with the sort of tradition of how Daniel's work can be performed, we went with just sort of the doors being, they're almost like blacks. They allow the actors to sort of pass behind them, and although they will always be somewhat always visible to the audience, they do allow for some masking, but moreover, the doors were intended to be more of a texture, and in a way that when you look in a mirror with another mirror behind itself, just sort of a repeat of an infinity. Beyond that, they did become a little more metaphorical, and I don't think either Bob or I were interested in hitting anyone over the head with this idea of opening doors but nevertheless, it does come into play, and that as you progress through life and as you make life decisions, you can choose which door to open and which path you're going to go down, and so I think it has lent well to the themes of the script.
Now, you and Bob worked on this with a great deal of distance between you, so how much input did Bob have in what you finally came up with? Well,
because I was in Stratford at the time that I was designing, and bouncing between Stratford and Toronto, where I was working on another show, Bob and I sort of communicated over the phone, and one of the things we did was we talked very sort of loosely about the script, and really more about its themes, about sort of the layers to the text, and then from that, again, I just starting off with what the text needed, and then sort of the emotional layers in the text, and as a designer, you can't always just sort of start off from what the basic needs are, because you have to address those one way or the other. So again, what I would do is we would talk about emotional themes to the script, and then I would go away and work on the model, and take pictures, and then email those to Bob, and Bob would be able to respond on those. So it was a very different way of working, but I think in the end, it worked. I think we discovered our way of making it work, and I think it was, I talk about it. It's like being in a great big trust exercise where you just sort of fall back, and luckily, we sort of caught each other, and were able to sort of rip off of an idea, and he was quite excited, I think, by what I was able to present, and I was quite relieved that he was excited. So